Hi, everyone. Welcome back to CEO Podcast. I'm Bobby Khan.
And I'm Ravel.
And we're here today in our second episode. Today is a very special occasion. As we know, we've just entered the auspicious month of Ramadan.
Yep, everyone. Ramadan Kareem to everybody celebrating around the world and all the Ummah. And today is a very, very special topic because it's while we're doing this topic, we are actually fasting as well. And we thought why don't we have a discussion about this because it's very, very vital, some of the things that we're going to be talking about today. But before we start, we do want to mention that we are giving away 2 Umrah tickets in the month of Ramadan.
Yeah. Absolutely. How exciting is this? So we're delighted to share that we are giving away 2 free Ramadan tickets for a lucky winner. And that's full flights, hotel, ziyaras as well. And that will be for August.
And all you have to do to enter this competition is to go onto our Instagram, which is bishorganics.com. If you look back at our first episode, we introduced ourselves and spoke about Bish Organics. So all you have to do is just follow the instructions there. And yeah, good luck to everybody.
Yeah.
The winners will be announced on April the 2nd. And me and Bobby, we are actually flying out in a few days to Saudi. So we are going for Umrah and we're also going to Medina. So yeah, we're excited about that, aren't we?
We certainly are. So we fly out on Saturday. We're going for the week, and we'll be in Medina, and then we're going to Mecca. So we would love to hear from you if you would like any of your du'as being
read out
for us to obviously relay there and give your salam as well. So please do reach out to us directly on DMs.
And Bobby's fasting one day before me, and we're not going to talk too much about that because I don't know. So I was just following the local mosque, but yeah, we will probably have different days of Eid as well, right? It's just always every year this is what happens. But yeah, that's a different topic for another day, guys. We won't talk about that.
Sure it is, but I find it quite interesting, the fact that, this year was quite unique because for the first time in our lifetime, we've had 7 planets align. And while those 7 planets aligned, the new moon was sighted on Friday, the 28th of February around the world. And, based on that information, because we follow the lunar calendar, we were able to then read out Tarawih that evening and start fasting. So half of the UK was fasting for Saturday morning, and the other half is your group.
Yep. I don't go by the group. I was just like, my kids were like, Mom, but the local mosque is doing it tomorrow. And I was like, oh, okay, then that's fine. I don't know. I didn't see the moon myself either, so I was just like, okay, let's go by the mosque.
Yeah, I must admit, I only seen the moon the second day, myself personally, looking out for it. And it was probably one of the best moons I've ever seen. The crest was, subhanAllah, amazing. Really crisp and shiny. The air was so clear and calm. The sky was so clean, that it was one of my best memories of sighting the moon.
Yeah, a lot of people said that this time, actually.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of people posting about it. So yeah, let's get into it, guys. We want to discuss Ramadan. We want to just talk about the importance of, number one, fasting as a whole. And also the first thing, obviously, is ibadat. So this month is a month of forgiveness. This is also the month of the Quran. So if we are able to up our recitation of the Quran this month, your benefits will be tenfold. And also Tarawih, whatever you can do. But we want to bring it back a little bit as well, because we want to talk about how we spoke about on the first episode, that everything ties back to your health. And there's been a lot of research, especially in the West nowadays, that the benefits of fasting are immense. Some people even use fasting to cure cancer. Some people use it to, so many different ailments.
Yeah, I think fasting has an incredible reputation recently, and it's got a nice revival because the science behind it is it's healing. So there's a group of individuals that call themselves Muslims and choose to fast because they're in good health too. So, they see the benefits more spiritually, whereas the science of the world, like athletes and say people who don't particularly practice Abrahamic faiths, do fasting just for recovering their bodies.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of research with Dr. Sebi, Dr. Berg, and Dr. Barbara O'Neill that make reference to the benefits of fasting and the impact on your body and how to starve diseases such as cancer, right?
Yeah, 100%. That's what I did as well. So last year when I was diagnosed, I did go on a fast as well. We just fasted because it was one of the things that I saw Dr. Berg especially talk about, where he said that if I was ill with cancer, the very first thing I would do is go on a 10-day fast. And that's a dry fast as well.
Talk to us for those who've not actually heard our first episode. For all the new listeners, walk us through how the fasting, actually, how you felt the fasting helped you on your recovery journey.
Yeah. So with me, I knew that I had to alkalize my body, and I knew I had to flush out all the acid.
Yeah.
So there was probably a lot of build up in my body, especially from the medication as well that I was taking. So I did feel a bit tired. Like week one of fasting, I did feel tired. So I did do Ramadan last year as well, and I asked for an extension. And when I was fasting, when I did the 10 days, that was when I was abroad. So I felt great because I was just having fruit and opening it with fruit. But when I came here, obviously it was a bit more harder. So I was fasting, and I did find it a little bit difficult. Not gonna lie, that was because I was about to go in for treatment. So and I think it was just like the weather and everything, and I think I prefer it in the hotter countries when I'm fasting.
So
You
what
can
you're
sweat it
saying
all out.
is you're born for the heat.
I'm born for the heat, yeah. That's definitely. Even though when you're fasting, we don't want to be really hot because then we want to keep drinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess everybody's different. I feel like this year it's different for me. So obviously my body the last 2 years reacts different to like a normal body because
Yeah.
it had cancer. So it had loads of bad cells basically. And so this year, alhamdulillah, because I'm fully healed, I feel like a lot of my other friends and family feel like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
So last year was a bit difficult for me, but I really wanted to do it.
So, when we talk about fasting and the benefits of it, and, you're not just giving up food and you're giving up water for the day, you're giving up, say, habits like listening to music, maybe too much social media time on your mobile,
Yep.
and say, foods that are not necessarily great for your body, but, there's a version of you because you believe that you should live a certain life, but you're not behaving like the person that you want to be. And one of those things is what you're actually consuming. So I think it's interesting for viewers to sort of discuss and think about more is eating habits and the choices we make. What are your thoughts on the fact that how powerful food is
Yep.
for the mindset
Yep.
and for general healing?
Well, the thing is, what we eat does play an effect on our mental state. So, especially if we are in the past, I fell victim of this as well. Where in the past we've just gone straight for the brante and the samosas and the biryani straight away, and you feel sluggish later. You feel tired.
do.
You feel bloated, and then we wonder why we have all these problems. And I feel like we should all get educated. Everybody should really, really just type it in Google, type it in social media, what you should be eating before and after we break and open a fast, and you will know that what we have on an empty stomach, the very first thing, is so vital. It goes straight into our bloodstream. So the Chinese, what they do is when they wake up, they have 2 glasses of water, warm water. Some others, they put a slice of lemon in it. Well, what are they doing? They are basically alkalizing the body straight away. That's what I do now. So when I open my fast now, the very first thing I do is drink warm water with lemon. Put lemon in it and I drink it straight away. Very first thing. And then the kajur, the dates,
Yeah.
alkaline water, and of course Zamzam water. It does all, guys. It all comes back to Ramadan is not just about food, but it's also about it's not about food. Do you know what I mean? Like the month of fasting has become the month of feasting, sadly, where everybody wants to feast,
So true.
but that is not what it's about.
So we enter into Ramadan thinking we're going to lose weight, and you exit out putting on more weight
More weight
because
'cause of the
of
carbs.
the choices that we're making. Because it's so late, it's after sunset when you're able to eat again. And when you're eating at that hour and so late in the evening, and we're loaded up, like you said, with brante or biryani, you're going to end up putting on some pounds during those during the month. So I suppose everybody debates about their traditional dishes, etc., and what's best and what they crave. However, rather than just complaining about what we shouldn't eat, should we walk through or talk through what good eating habits might look like?
Yeah, let's do it. And also, side note, everybody that knows, if you every single day, if you're having pakore, samosa, kebabs, biryani, and raita, everything you name it, yeah, then why do we feel like on Eid that why does it feel like just another day? Because we've ate everything for 30 days. So remember that as well. So we should save something for Eid as well on Eid day.
Yeah,
But yeah.
keep those cheat days for
Keep the
Eid.
cheat day for Eid day, yeah.
Yeah,
Detox.
totally.
So what is Ramadan? Ramadan is detoxing as well. Detoxing inside, internally, mentally, spiritually. So, we should be starving ourselves of our desires, which is food, water, and other things. So we do that because we want to gain a closer connection to our Lord. So we want to stray away from the worldly affairs, and the worldly affairs do keep us really busy. So I feel like a lot of people say this, that we do. Ramadan comes right at the right time we need it.
So a lot of people, they say, eat based on their psychology. So
Yeah.
we eat our way through our, unrecognized emotions and feelings or traumas. So when we're eating and we have that fluctuation of weight, we go to, it's a comfort, isn't it?
Yeah.
Comfort eating, or being in a habit. Your old habits won't give you new results. And so there's a lot of interesting data out there that actually shares that when you are eating a certain type of diet and it's not necessarily benefiting you, it's always linked to a trauma that was associated in your life at some point. The reason why you're addicted, because it is an addiction,
So
like
if
sugar
somebody
is.
is addicted to chocolate, or let's say addicted to chocolate cake, it's because of something that's maybe happened in the childhood.
Potentially, what researchers have suggested is that if you can't break the cycle, you've tried every diet and you keep going back to your old habits, there's usually a link to why you eat for comfort, if that is identified in you as an individual.
Well, I've seen a lot recently, like especially younger generation. They're really on it when it comes to like their health. So I've seen it on TikTok as well. So everybody's showing tips and tricks what you can eat in the morning, especially. Everybody's getting out their Greek yogurt and their oats, and they're all making it.
Yeah.
It's become a bit of a trend, but it's actually good.
It's actually great.
It's
So
really good.
I would love to share one recipe that I believe that everyone should, consider, and it's a Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and it is talbina. So talbina, for those who are unaware of what it is a barley, and it's called pearl barley, and you could get it from your local markets or stores, and you could either get it in powder form or you could grind it in a coffee grinder at home. It's literally just pure barley, and all you need is a saucepan, your choice of milk, whether it's for you or your family members. You pour in that amount of milk, add your barley, just a spoon, and it starts thickening as you simmer it.
Yeah.
And as it thickens in, say, the space of 5 to 10 minutes, you could pour it in a mug or a bowl, have as is, or go a step further with the sunnah and add figs and olives and nuts and seeds. What you'll find is it will help you get through your morning a little bit longer, so you won't feel hungry immediately. You won't have an issue on your insulin levels as well, so you're not going to feel like you're crashing because you missed your breakfast.
So Prophet Sallam used to say that this is good for the heart, right? So it's like a happy feeling when you
the massive
eat this.
advantage is the fact that it was highly recommended to consume after a bereavement, they say, or anxiety. If you've suffered a big loss, you've gone through a divorce, you're in the middle of a breakup, you've had somebody pass away, it was highly recommended by the Prophet to consume it because it helps heal the heart. And today scientists have also linked eating barley with reducing anxiety as well, which is interesting.
Actually, I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, you know what? How is Ramadan so different from back in the day? Because I feel like when I was younger, Ramadan, all me and my cousins used to go to sleep downstairs on the sofa. We used to all of us just be there, and we'd open, we'd close Sari together, and we used to be really excited. Even though I'm not saying we're not excited now, I just feel like the world's changed, where even though Ramadan is needed, I feel like sometimes because of the time and everything, now it's a bit different. I'm sorry, mine's all over the place because I'm fasting, guys. But you know what I mean, Bobby? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's like Eid has changed, and so has Ramadan. But it's not Ramadan. It's not the fault of Ramadan. It's like what is it? What is it, guys? Why is our childhood Eid and Ramadan? Why was it more precious and more openly, or is it because people are nowadays more enclosed? Everybody's more on social media, and back then we was all like together. Is that what you think? What do you think?
Possibly,
It's
possibly.
confusing.
I mean, when I remember my childhood being personally that
Yeah,
it was all about us. It was our attention. Our
yeah.
grandparents gave us a lot of attention.
Yeah, the
We were around our
grandparents.
cousins, because life has changed right now, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
personally feel like everyone's so busy in their homes.
yeah.
Now it's like invite only. Everyone's trying to outdo
That's
the other
it.
person on an
Oh my God,
iftari visit.
why is everything so like, yeah, it's all Instagrammable now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Like you
right?
literally, yeah.
And back in the day, it wasn't about
It
that. It
wasn't
was
about
all
that.
about the get together. The one thing I miss about Ramadan is the
The get together,
the
the
get together,
iftaris.
the
The iftar.
extended family get
The
together. I'm
extended
talking
family.
about, your
But
cousins.
don't you feel like there's a big pressure on like especially us women, right? Like if you're doing iftari, it's
Yeah.
got to be like basically showroom, like it's got to be like a mini wedding kind of
Oh
iftari.
gosh, I mean,
And iftari, guys, is
yeah.
basically how we open the fast. It's got to have all candles. It doesn't have to, but that's what's been set. And guys, I feel like a lot of people spend more money in Ramadan, in the month of fasting. It turns into the month of feasting. I feel like people spend more money in this month.
Yeah, I would agree with you because of the fact that everything that they do now is all about all the preparations, what dishes you made, and everyone is like uploading before they've even opened their fast.
Upload.
You could see it on social media
Yeah, it's so true.
what they're about to eat, right?
Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know, guys. I mean, like, it's hard. And another thing, when are we gonna like understand that you know what? Back in the days, our mothers, our grandmothers, they would all day be in the kitchen. But when are we gonna realize that you know what? It's not actually fair. Women should not be in the kitchen. This is my opinion. You can say.
I
Yeah.
agree with
I
you.
don't feel like
I
they should
agree.
be in the kitchen all day. It's not fair. And then they literally have a 1 hour all day in the kitchen preparing food. And then they're missing the ibadat. This is the month of ibadat, not the month of cooking. Sadly, there are some people that are still backwards where they feel like, yeah, that's fine. I feel
So
like,
I remember my mum, she would, obviously start her cooking early, especially if she was hosting other people as
Yeah.
well, the extended family. And she ended up missing her prayers because she wants to make sure your plates are all full,
and
that
you miss a prayer.
everything is
I'm not gonna
literally
lie, that's happened
served
to
on
me.
a plate,
That's happened to
hot.
me. Yeah.
So
Even when I've gone to guests, I'm not going to say, but I've been to certain guests' house where there's a massive platter and it's Maghrib time and you can't even get out anyway. And I'm like, nobody's actually getting up to read the Maghrib. So guys, we need to kind of, what should they be doing? So you know what we do? We drink water, have a bit of fruit, have kajur, and then go pray. What do you think? Well, like I feel like what
I
should
mean,
we be doing
in
if
my
you're in a guest
household,
house?
in particular, in my household, we don't eat our meal until after Maghrib.
Yeah.
So it's just, we only put on the table what you're going to open your fast with, which is fruit, dates, your, what we call a milkshake.
No, but
That's about
what
it.
would you do if you was in somebody's house?
I would still go and pray if I'm in wudu.
Yeah.
Or I will excuse myself to go and pray.
Yeah.
Because that is like, you don't want to miss Maghrib.
Come
It's
on.
the only one you run to on time because
That's it.
you only have a
You
short
only
window.
have a short time, right?
You
Yeah.
have a short window.
Yeah.
Agreed. But what about your thoughts on like balancing the kitchen out? Because men are really good at cooking too.
Well, the best chefs are men, guys. So why are women in the kitchen?
Yeah, I think we
What
do
is the
outnumber.
sunnah? What is the sunnah? The Prophet ﷺ used to help. Even the Sahaba used to help their wives, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like a lot of men in our society, I know that they work, but so do women. Women work. Women look after the children. Women go to the school runs, do the grocery shops, clean the whole house while fasting, do their prayers, and then lay out a full spread. And then
In
wash up
my
the dishes.
household, I have to admit, like I'm a control freak when it comes to cooking. So I wouldn't want anyone else
You're a
in
bit
the
of a chef
kitchen.
yourself, yes, that's why.
So I wouldn't want anyone else in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I always say, when they say, "Oh, can I help you?" I always say, "You can when it's time. You could help me eat it."
Yeah.
Is my answer.
No,
However,
but that's your choice, right? But let's say
Yeah.
if it was let's say I know in the past where there's loads of women, and they're all just in the kitchen, and then there's a family of like 20. Obviously, that all the women are in there and stuff. But when does it be like every single day? If a woman's in the kitchen constantly, and then she's missing her ibadat, then are we now missing the point of Ramadan?
Yeah, I mean, it's
'Cause it's
prayer.
just
It's
about
prayer
cooking.
first. It's prayer first, and not about the 7-course meal that they're going to receive after they open their fast. Because men usually run to the masjid, so they have that break if they're on their prayers, and when they're back, how it is. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you know, but in my family, my father, my brother, they actually always help out. Like it's just something they've always done. Dishes. My mom will make the main dish,
Oh,
but they'll do all the sides. They'll do the serving.
Mm.
They'll get the kids involved. And in my memory, I remember being about 9 years old, and I didn't know how to cook at 9. However, I helped my mum cut the salad.
Yeah.
I remember putting
You
it on
learnt
the
long,
table.
Yeah, you learnt it young.
And I put it on the table. My dad sat down and he ate all the food, helped with washing up and all the sides, etc. And right at the end, he looked at me and he said, then looked at the rest of us, the rest of my siblings, and said, "Who made that salad?" And I said, me, daddy, trying to,
Oh, bless.
get his attention. And he said, well, that was the best plate on the table. And it was that moment when he praised me that I felt like, oh my God, I need to learn how to cook.
Yeah, I want to learn how to cook
because he
this.
praised me. But
Yeah.
what I loved about it was that he would actually be with us in that kitchen.
Yeah, that's
So
nice.
he was always there, whether my mum was pregnant with one of my siblings, I'm one of the oldest. He was always by her side. So I found it really odd when I heard that generally in every other household, they don't help.
I don't know.
I don't know,
because
it's a discovery for me.
it's weird for me because I was raised by my father, so he cooked and cleaned for
Yeah.
me and my brother. So literally, like I would have, especially in Ramadan as well. So
Yeah.
I just find it. I've grown up with the man
Yeah.
of the household, cooking
Leading.
and cleaning and doing everything. And well, mainly, and he was a great chef. So I feel like men are better chefs.
Yeah.
So we should be, getting the men in there a bit more in
Absolutely.
the kitchen.
They're equally talented, right?
Yeah.
And they shouldn't just be the
They-
testers in the kitchen when
Not
they're
just
coming
the
to test.
testers, yeah. I
come
mean,
in
look,
to test
we're
the
not
food.
telling you how to run your households. If it works for you, a lot of women like yourself, they don't want anybody else in the kitchen because they've got a system going and they want to do it. So what I did was I meal prepped last week. So I put everything and I put things away, and I just found that was easier. So
Yeah.
that saved me time. But in the past,
So meal prep that you're talking about, you're
Yeah.
talking about bulk cooking, right?
Yeah, bulk cooking.
Bulk cooking. So do you want to run through what bulk cooking is?
Well, the way I did my bulk cooking this time was basically I made my curry salan and I made like 6 or 7 batches where, put the onions in, put everything in, put the garlic, put everything in the tomatoes except for the actual, meat
Main.
or veg or the main course. And then what I did was wait for it to cool down and then I put it in Ziploc bags and then I froze that. That's it. And then I made my normal just a normal atta. I haven't made and rice. I haven't actually gone full out with my meals. I've literally just kept it to that. So what we do is we have fruit, we have dates, and then around about just before Tarawih, I will have like our main meal. And I'm pushing more for veg, especially with the children. They're not happy about it, but tough. But yeah, I would rather have that
Tough
than
love.
Yeah, I'd rather have that than
Yeah.
any kind of processed foods. Absolutely don't want no burgers right now. I don't want to be like having samosas and loads of greasy food. Absolutely not. This is a detox, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So like detox yourselves.
Yeah, and you have to be true to what does detox actually mean, right? So for us in our household, we genuinely don't fry anything.
Yeah.
Everything is like oven based or made in a pot. And I've not had a microwave. I don't know if you know.
You told me, yeah, you told
in
me,
about
yeah.
like 12 years.
Because of the radiation, yeah.
Yeah.
Because of the radiation. So goes back to what our ancestors used to do. They used to heat. Why were they more healthier than us guys?
How did
used to
they
heat
preserve
stuff.
things back in the day?
I don't think they did. I think it was like basically it was
Just cook what you need?
to mouth. So whatever you need,
Yeah.
they'll go and get it. Nobody would be free. I never freeze my meat and stuff like that. I just don't
Yeah.
like it. But I just get it fresh. But I think back in the day, that's what they did as well, just fresh.
Yeah, another observation of mine recently was the fact that I remember last year there was quite a lot of like iftari menus going out, and on these iftari menus there was loads of like shisha invites
Okay.
on the iftari
I think
menu.
I remember seeing this stuff. Yeah,
Right?
Shisha.
It's really prevalent. This whole like you're supposed to be detoxing, but yet you open your fast
With
and
the
then
shisha.
you get together and then
Yeah.
you're all smoking.
Yeah.
Like I personally, because I'm not a smoker, I don't
Yeah.
know the battle of trying to like stop an addiction.
Yeah.
But I just feel like we're supposed to make that extra effort to wind it
detox
down
Yeah.
and not turn it into a iftari meal and your dessert and shisha.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a big controversy around shisha places anyway within our community, right? Like, on one hand, people say it's like a halal club, right? And there is just a get together, and it's just not.
But it's part of
free
culture
mixing.
around the world.
And then around the world, again, like especially in the south, like in Dubai and places like that, Turkey especially. So when I went to Turkey in Ramadan a few years ago with my husband, everywhere was a shisha lounge and everybody was in. It became a norm. And I was looking at them like it's Ramadan and we're we're all opening our fast, but they're over. You know what I mean? So
But similar here in the UK, don't you think?
I think it's been brought
every
down.
street I see
Yeah.
either a vape shop or I see a shisha lounge.
Yeah, they literally,
Literally.
that's the new
Rather
norm.
than just coffee shops, you're getting shisha lounges
you'll
and vape
definitely.
stores. They're literally prevalent now.
I think it's
Yeah.
the new it's a rise in everything. 100% everybody should be detoxing on and trying their best. It is an addiction for a lot of people as well. I know a lot of people personally as well who do that.
And I think you can't do it on your own.
And
so
you can't go. Some people can go cold turkey. They have the willpower. Some people have had a lot of trauma, so it's their way out because they're very stressed. So we can never judge anybody too much for why they do something. I think everybody knows why they do it. So basically, everybody does something. Like I personally think that if somebody's a smoker, we should just tell them, advise them. We cannot, and I don't think somebody should go cold turkey straight away in Ramadan, because I feel like that can have a negative impact on their fasting. I've seen people when they go cold turkey and they smoke cigarettes, they are switching at everybody for the whole month.
Isn't
that
ruins are you describing hungry people?
Yeah,
like
hungry
when they're
people, because they're so even like the doctors advise you take it slowly, you wean off something slowly, you wean it off
Sure.
slowly, and
but surely that's the best month to give something up.
I mean, we can only suggest it. Everybody
Just
is
as
an
we do
adult.
with food, right?
Yeah,
Eat
yeah,
well,
yeah.
put good stuff in your
It
body.
is something that
it's going to
everyone
take
should
time.
Everybody should be thinking about, especially when they want to detox their body. If you remember, a lot of the reasons, it's all psychological. Nicotine, it's all in the mind. There are other things you can do, like patches.
You need to find a replacement.
A replacement, yeah.
Yeah, people do hypnosis, people take the gum, put the patch on.
But even in
reduce it down.
in like the Prophet ﷺ's day, like, that's what they used to say. Like, if there's an issue, they used to say, go on a fast. Fast. So if there's certain things, they would like, go on a fast.
Yeah.
So, this is the best time. It's something that everyone should take into consideration.
Absolutely. Only to help yourself.
It's you're only helping yourself. No,
it
doesn't harm anybody else.
This
It
is
helps, harms you.
no judgment. It's just literally just to make, really good habits, basically.
Yeah, 100%. And back to the shisha lounges, no comment on that. Like, I can't really say.
I mean,
I know a lot of our community
not saying that they should be closed down or anything.
Yeah,
just
we don't want any shisha lounges saying, who are you like to talk about it? No. We're just saying opening a fast with a shisha is maybe not the best.
Shouldn't be offering it in Ramadan. It's there, but don't be offering it on your menu.
Show an alternative, yeah.
Absolutely. We know it's there. But you shouldn't be marketing it excessively as an iftari special.
It shouldn't be an iftari special. But something I also wanted to mention was, like, even though the month of Ramadan is for like us as Muslims, I kid you not, the amount of non-Muslims, the amount of people just in general, the general public, who actually, a lot of them obviously do intermittent fasting.
Yes.
A lot of them have heard about fasting, and a lot of them don't really want to get into fasting until they actually hear about the month of Ramadan. And then they're like, okay, maybe I want to start a 1 day fast, or maybe I want to do a 2 day fast. And, I was in Asda yesterday, and as I was my food was getting scanned, the lady at the checkout was like, have you been busy the last 2 days? She goes, yes, really busy. I go, it's because it's Ramadan. She goes, oh my God, is it Ramadan already? I go, yeah, that's why everyone's flooding to get all the stuff. She was like, I really want to start fasting, and I feel like I want to, but I'm a bit shy. I go, nothing to be shy about. Well, what do you mean? Like, she goes, I just don't know how to start. I go, that's it. You just need to eat. You need to close your fast from sunrise, and then you open it at sunset. We're in the winter, well, winterish, so it ain't even that long. Kid you not, back in the day, we used to be opening it up at 9 p.m. So now we're opening it up about 6 p.m. And then she was like, okay, I'm going to do it. She goes, because I feel like everybody else is doing it around me, because she lives in an area where there's a lot of Asian community, Muslim community. She was like, I feel like this is the time to do it. And I was like, yeah. And
I think you're right, because when you're on social media and you're on, when you get to see larger communities, there's obviously non-Muslims who are non-practicing, but they're all asking questions or stating they've joined in this year. They've gone to the local masjids, they keep the doors open for you. They have neighbors and friends. Yeah. I remember being at work in one of the previous companies I worked for, and I was the only one fasting because I'm a Muslim, and obviously everybody else was intrigued. And by the end of my 3rd year there, every year there was at least 2 people who were joining in the fast.
I think that's great.
And hats off to them, because they were like gymming it at the same time, hardcore, delivering on all their goals.
Gymming and Ramadan, wow, I salute you. Salute you,
Absolutely.
You know what? I just find it like, it's so like welcoming, and I feel like it's great. Honestly, like, please don't think Ramadan is just for the Muslims, no. Like, you know what I mean? It's for us. But if
Fasting is
you
for
want to,
everyone.
fasting is for everyone. If you want to come in, if you want to come to the mosque and ask about Ramadan, more than
Or
welcome.
any of our homes, like,
You could come, like you will find that we are so welcoming. Like the Muslims, especially in Ramadan, we're so welcoming. The month of forgiveness.
you
the
want to
month of
do
welcoming.
extra kindness to your neighbors and your community.
Well, let's just say that. What is one of the, as a core Muslim belief, one of the rights of our neighbors as a Muslim is that we have to look
Check
out
in on
for
them.
Yeah,
Check in
whether
on
you're
them.
Muslim or non-Muslim.
Yeah.
We, as a Muslim, whether you're if my neighbor is a Muslim or not, they have a right upon me that if they need something, I have to give it.
So you know how we spoke about in the past once when we were driving somewhere long? I don't know if you recall, but in that journey, we literally were talking about on the day of judgment that they're not going to ask you how from your spouse or your child or your
Yeah, I remember.
parent how, you know, whether you were a good human being towards them. They're going to ask your neighbor.
They're going to ask your neighbor. Yeah, and guys, we mean your next door neighbors.
Yeah,
Your,
literally.
Doesn't matter where you're living, like your next
Your
door
street,
neighbors.
anyone on your street.
Yeah. And that is just so scary as well. You know what I mean? But I always have that in my head. And so, especially in Ramadan, one of my neighbors is non-Muslim. Well, actually, a few of them are non-Muslim, and they're like, "Oh, it's Ramadan. Yeah, you're gonna bring us some samosas and kebabs." They just love that feeling because they know that we're gonna be like,
What's
"Here you
coming?
go, here you go." But that is their right. They can ask that from me.
Yeah, my
That is-
mom, she's been living in like a
I
non-Muslim
bet your
area
mom's been
for like
giving it out for ages. Yeah, giving food out.
for like over 20 years, and the neighbors have gone really elderly now, both on either side. Bill and we got Roger on the right, and both of them
Hello,
and their
Roger.
lovely wives. Honestly, both of them and their lovely wives, they're so used to receiving mum's food
Oh, bless.
that it's like we can't eat unless a tray has
Yeah,
been taken
yeah.
to our neighbors.
It's nice though.
So
It's
it's
nice.
not, I mean, they get extra dishes, as you know. It's
Yeah.
Ramadan, you're going to
Yeah.
get really nice dishes. But it's like my mum doesn't know how to eat anymore unless she sent her tray over to Bill
Yeah.
and wife
Yeah.
and Roger and wife.
Oh, that's so cute.
it's-
That's
yeah.
cute. Yeah.
But I wanted to sort of like speak on here about all those people who have recently come into Islam and are maybe not even fasting publicly and they're privately fasting. Because on my social media, I've had a lot of DMs and a lot of people just communicating with each other saying, I have no one to open my fast with. This is my first
So
Ramadan.
sad.
I'm really nervous. And my heart goes out
Very
to them.
sad. Yeah, my heart
Because
goes out
half
to
of your heart is hurting because you can see, you know, the world in Sudan, Palestine, you know, where they're not able to open their meal of their iftar, of their fast with actual food and water, clean water. And then there's the other half that have all the facilities in the world, but because
have
of their
anybody.
circumstances,
Yep.
they have nobody to open their fast with. I find that really
Well,
heartbreaking.
just touching upon that, have you seen the recent stuff that's coming out? How resilient, how great are the people of Gaza? How are they in the midst of all the rubble opening their fasts, literally? And I think I read somewhere where one person asked the sheikh, say the people from Gaza, they said that, Sheikh, is my fast still valid if we have no food for sahur and we have no food for iftari? Can I still fast? Look at that. And here we are complaining. Well, not us complaining, but you know what I mean? Here we are,
Here
so
we are,
ungrateful. When
spoiled
there's-
for choice.
Where there's
spoiled for
people
choice.
sitting and then they don't even know if they're in rubble. Their people are buried alive. Bombs are coming left, right, and center, and all they want to do is just fast, and all they want to do is submit to their Lord.
Yeah. I've never
then-
seen Iman like the people of
No,
Palestine.
That's
When
why
I
they're
was
the people of Jannah.
when I was a child, I remember growing up and not understanding, looking
What's
at the
going
TV.
on?
There
Yeah.
used to be like 4 channels only. What's going
What's
on?
going
Why?
on with Palestine? What's going
What's
on?
going on
It's
with
because
Palestine?
it's way longer than October the 7th. It's been going on
course.
75 years, and we've been seeing it. We're seeing it. It's just now social media is bringing it a bit too light and a little bit
It's
of
the
showing.
most publicized genocide of our time. And if it wasn't for everybody, you know,
Yeah.
resharing, marching, we went on marches with,
Yeah.
you know, over 1 million people marched just in London alone. If it wasn't for all this awareness, you wouldn't have the awareness on the actual calamity of what's taking place in Palestine, rather than the fact that they think it all started
It
on
all
October the
started as
7th.
Are we forgetting
It's
the
an
7th? Are we
occupation.
forgetting that they're living in an open prison? They're living in an
Open-air
open air
prison.
cell prison. They're not allowed out. Goods are not
It's
allowed
an
in.
apartheid, right?
Yeah.
It's an apartheid.
So So I think a few people have said to me in the past, right, when I've been commenting, why don't you just go there?
Yeah.
Oh, mate, if I could book a ticket to go into Palestine, Gaza right now, I'd
would
be
go.
there. Yeah,
But
we are not allowed.
See, I find that quite odd because Palestinians, the ones that were removed in 1948, are still not allowed to return. They don't have the right to return to their own homeland.
Their own home. They were kicked out their own homes.
However,
Yeah.
if I today choose to become Israeli and I have I want an Israeli passport, it doesn't matter what my background is. I'll receive one. I know this is a very political conversation for
Yeah, but
the
it's
likes of
needed,
this
right? It's in
podcast,
Ramadan.
but
How can we forget the people of Palestine?
yeah,
and it's from
absolutely.
Ramadan.
So,
This is what we
while
pray
they
for.
are suffering, they're just an example of oppression in one place and oppression everywhere. So,
So there was an apartheid in South Africa, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So Nelson
Nelson
Mandela,
yeah.
his statue is in Ramallah in Palestine.
In Palestine, yes, it is.
If it's still up, I have no idea, but he fought for them because it's the same group of individuals, the same colonialist individuals who left Germany and Poland, etc., that migrated and to South Africa at the time. And at once upon a time, they called him a terrorist when he was resisting oppression. And he said
They
that
did.
oppression in Palestine is oppression everywhere
That is
because
what
of the fact that every man has a right to live
freely.
Absolutely. And it breaks our hearts when we're seeing in graphic detail the calamity or the open genocide that they're doing on children, doctors, women, boys. And all we're hearing is a very controlled media.
Yeah.
And this is why the power to the people who've taken on to podcasts like now I'm going to forget her name, Candice Owens. She
Candice Owens,
did
she's
a
great.
360,
Yeah, she's
married
amazing.
to a Zionist who's done a 360 on her. I've educated myself and I am telling you that we should be supporting Palestine, is her words.
Wow.
Because of the fact that she's educated herself on the matter. It's not about religion because they need to stop using that card.
Yeah,
it's factual.
it's
It's about land, Gaza oil. It's about the fact that they want to ethnically remove people so they could control the Middle East. I personally,
It's all about power.
I personally, when I'm looking at geopolitical analysis, I find that we keep coming back to the same old, which is the UK and the USA have been funding their military base, which is called Israel, illegally occupying it. And I cannot believe with all these arrest warrants out, think about it, all these arrest warrants out, and they preach about democracy and human rights. But when they mean human rights, they mean if you're blonde and blue eyes and not if you're from the Middle East and Palestine. I mean, Jesus was not blonde and blue eyes. He was from Palestine.
And Moses was black.
Exactly. Right. So we all come from black ancestry.
Yes.
I remember when I went to Africa and they said, "Welcome home, sister." When I came up and I was like, oh my God, they recognize me too. I might not be completely, their shade, but see how they recognize the fact that humanity, where it stems from.
Yeah.
And humanity is beautiful when you actually care for humanity and not profit and resource control and a narrative that clearly is not serving us, because for 15 months, it's re-educated everyone on the Palestine issue.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
That's something in a later podcast, I think we'll go more into detail about, but we have to, of course, because when we're talking about Ramadan, everyone's hearts are very heavy for the last 2 years.
Because when you're opening your fast, what are you thinking? What are they eating?
Yeah, what are they eating?
And are they safe?
Yeah, not just them. There's so many Muslims around the world.
But I want to say, while we're on this call, we should, on this, podcast, that we should be thinking about all the devastation around the world. There is Yemen out there as well. There is Sudan out there as well. There's Congo.
China.
The Muslims in the
Congo
north.
especially. Yes.
Congo, for 4 years have torn my heart. I used to have nightmares.
Have you seen some of the stuff? People burning themselves just to get that. It was crazy.
It's insane what they've done just for cobalt and lithium, and you feel guilty holding a mobile phone. And now we know why they're pushing on like electrical cars. Like, it's not worth it. There was a time where in our ignorance we would make those choices because of a brand name.
Yeah.
But people are keen to sort of like understand what they put in their body when it comes to, I want to have natural foods. It needs to be organic. So you need to be equally as responsible. I don't go to Zara. I don't shop at Starbucks because I don't want to fund the IDF. And that same IDF structured is in Congo right now, right? Controlling the resources and, depopulating people. It's unbelievable that children are literally dying daily. Women are being abused daily. and it's all because of resource control. It's madness. I don't know how
Sad,
people sleep at
guys.
night.
It's really sad. Touching back to the point where you mentioned about Muslims who are reverts who have come into the religion, and for them, one of the loneliest times is Ramadan because they're opening their fasts on their own. Some of them are actually, and some reverts, their family doesn't accept that they've reverted, so they have to hide and do it. Some they have to move out and they're on their own.
What would be our
that
advice
is
to them?
really
What would be our advice to them?
that is really sad because I know some personally, and it's very difficult. So try to go to the local masjid and make friends with other women there, and make whether you're male or female, make friends, and just actually
Reach out to us.
generally,
Yeah, reach out
generally, if
online.
you know people who are reverts who have just come back into the religion, you'll know that they haven't got a good, strong support system. So before they say to you, "Oh, I haven't got anybody," you say to them, "Don't worry, come to mine." You should be inviting them to your house for iftar. If you know a revert, they should be coming to you because you should be checking in on them because it's actually really. It's really like, especially
It's our duty.
and it's not nice, is it? Like, day in, day out, when everyone else is, you see them online and they're all like having these grand iftars, and then there you are opening it slowly, and it's actually you get rewarded when you feed somebody and you open their fast, you get the same reward. So we should be looking after
it's
our
not
community.
considered as charity, right? Charity
No.
is where it's due, but this is more about inclusion, because at the end of the day, they have been on this journey where they've discovered that they want to submit themselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they have decided to fast.
Yeah.
And they're having that journey on their own when we're supposed to be united in humanity,
Yeah.
without looking at what their religious beliefs are. Everybody is supposed to be supported if they are going through hardships, and people find loneliness really hard mentally because you're giving up so much, and then you ending up feeling like you are isolated.
Yeah, but that is not what our religion is about. So
No.
even what does it say? So when men go to the mosque, what they say, shoulder to shoulder, there should be no gaps. Everybody should be together. The ummah should be together.
Going to Umrah is that, right? Going to
Yeah.
Umrah and Hajj, every color, every creed is there. There's
Yep.
people who were born Muslim, there's people who came back to Islam, there's people whose first time it is, there's rich, poor. But you know what? The beautiful thing about the Ummah there is you can't see who is rich and who is poor,
Yep. You
and
don't
what
know.
language they speak and what
It doesn't
they-
matter, does it?
It does not
It doesn't matter. You're all doing the same
The
thing.
unity is the
Yeah.
fact that you are there praising the Lord
That's it.
in the same direction and energy, and you just want to do good deeds with each other because you want to all get to heaven.
We're all just trying to stack up our good deeds, yeah. And on that note, yes, we are excited, aren't we? Because in a few days, where are we going? We are going.
To Mecca and Medina.
Yeah, so
Yeah, amazing.
in our other first episode, we mentioned Bish Organics, and one of our products that we sell is a Medina black seed oil, and we have decided that personally we'll go and pick that up for everybody.
We are indeed. So we're going to be going on the coming weekend, and when we go, we want to bring that back because we're actually going to go and source other items too that will
yes.
complement black seed. For those who are unaware of what black seed is, it's literally the oil from the seed.
It's a natural
and
antibiotic.
It's a natural antibiotic,
yeah. It's a
and it's
sunnah
very
of the
powerful.
Prophet, yeah.
And we encourage to combine it with
The sour
any
tea.
liquid.
Yeah.
So any liquid,
But
cold
I have
or
it
hot.
with my soursop tea. Yeah, it's a powerful natural antibiotic. Every household should have black seed oil. And then when we were sourcing, when we were thinking where should we get it from, where we was thinking, because there's a few places, because I used to take it and Bobby takes it. It was like, okay, so where can we get this? Because everybody was asking us to get it as well. It's like, what better than it's a sunnah, so what
sacred
better
land.
than the sacred land of Medina?
Yeah, absolutely. If I could get my figs and olives from Palestine, I would, because there's a blessing in that land. In that land.
Yeah.
And then
There's a blessing
Yemeni,
in the land, yeah.
they talk
The
about
sidr honey.
Sidr honey from Yemen, but
yeah.
it's a bit,
And we have
difficult to get in.
We already have the soursop leaves from Africa,
We do.
which is already there on the website.
God has blessed this earth with so much goodness, so
That's
much
right.
richness that we could find all our solutions
All
of
our
health
healing comes from
and
there.
all our healings from that natural, planted by,
That's
the
right,
Lord
yeah.
himself. Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, everybody, check us out on all our socials. So in Instagram, it's CEO Podcast, and on TikTok, it's CEO Podcast. And we can't wait to grow with you all. We have so much to talk about. Of course, this subject is very close to our hearts because it's Ramadan, and we wish you all a very, very happy Ramadan. And we will
Blessed,
check
blessed
and a blessed
Ramadan.
Ramadan. And please take in all the pointers we said. Healthy mind, happy mind, and spiritually as well. We wish you the best in Ramadan. And yeah, we will catch up with you again soon on the next episode.